What's up, everybody? Welcome to another summer scouting video here at PFF. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Mike Renner. And today we are talking about some early my guys. You guys read those articles all the time where analysts will take the 100, 150, 200, however many guys that they have watched throughout the NFL draft, and they stake their claim on players that they love. They may not be their favorite players. They may not be their top 5 players in the class, but they love them. They love a skill set, and they just want to associate themselves with them wherever they're going to have success. I've got 5 that I'm bringing to the table. Mike, I know you have watched a ton of these guys already, so I'm looking forward to hearing what your analysis is of my analysis, since you are the draft guru here at PFF.
Cannot wait. I cannot wait to see the names that are your guys. This is my favorite thing to do, is to be higher on a guy than everyone else, to stake your claim, because then 3-4 years down the line, they turn out good, and you get to celebrate. They turn out bad, and you never talk about it ever again.
Dude, they don't even have to turn out good. You just need one good training camp clip.
Yeah.
Like one good highlight clip in a preseason game where you just go, I knew it. That's it. I'm counting as a win. We're moving on. All right, let's get right to it. I'm going to start with quarterback because everybody loves to harp on the quarterback position. It's the moneymaker, if you will. It's the one that gets the most attention. I love Will Levis, the quarterback from Kentucky. Obviously, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, those are the guys at the top of the class that everyone's going to say could be in contention for that #1 overall pick. But I feel like Will Levis could be a sleeper. Now, he doesn't exactly have the best cast around him this year. Wan'Dale Robinson's gone, but 6'3", he's got the size, he's got the frame, he's fearless as a passer, he's fearless as a runner. He will do everything that Kentucky needs. As a guy who had to sit behind Sean Clifford when he was at Penn State, finally got his first opportunity to start in Kentucky last year. I thought he made the absolute most of it. I'm expecting a big step up from him. And 2, if anybody knows Will Levis, they know all the antics, whether it's the food challenges, the weird things he does on social media. He's a hilarious dude. He likes the spotlight. I like that about a quarterback. So I'm in on Will Levis. What do you think, Mike?
I'm going to disagree with you right off the bat here, and I think you maybe misspoke a little there. You said he had to sit behind Sean Clifford. I don't want my franchise quarterback to have to sit behind Sean Clifford. He had the option of starting there if he would have performed better. He did not at Penn State. So that's worrisome, the fact that he couldn't beat out Sean Clifford, 1. 2, the fact that he is so physically gifted, and people are going to make Josh Allen comparisons. You see him hurdle guys in the open field. He's 6'3", 230 plus. He is a heck of an athlete with a heck of an arm. But why did he only have 15 big-time throws last year? Why is his downfield performance nowhere close to Josh Allen's? Josh Allen had the 3rd highest big-time throw rate we've ever seen as a sophomore back at Wyoming. Will Levis, all the physical tools have not turned into anything close to a high-level starting quarterback at the collegiate level just yet. So that's why I'm pumping the brakes. Obviously a gifted dude, but I am not going to get on board with you right there just yet.
Listen, I just want the record to show I did not compare him to Josh Allen, so I just want to make sure that everybody in the comments doesn't go after me too much from there. I hear you. The Sean Clifford part stings. The Sean Clifford part, him not being able to beat out Sean Clifford, definitely stings. But I had the chance to sit down and talk with Will this past summer, and he straight up said, he's like, I wasn't ready. He's like, I obviously think that I can be a great quarterback for any team that I'm part of, but he's like, at the time I wasn't ready. Now he's ready, Mike. You got to live in the present. This guy's going places. I'm all for it. For a preseason player, I'm putting my flag on Will Levis, and I hope he has a great year for Kentucky. I think it'd be a lot of fun in the SEC, certainly, if he does. Let's go to running back. Running back's the next one I want to talk about. This is a dude that you can't argue any production, because last year, Sean Tucker, the running back for Syracuse, went off almost 1,500 yards. And speaking of guys that were sitting behind depth charts, I mean, that was Sean Tucker's story. Comes in as a freshman, was buried. He was like a 4th or 5th on the depth chart. He was just a 3-star recruit coming into Syracuse. And then that was that 2020 season. So injuries and COVID opt-outs gave him the ability to get within that running rotation. Then he became a starter the next year, and man, we saw him absolutely go off. He's 5'10", 210 pounds. I know you like the build because that's a prototypical build for a running back. He's a guy who gives you 3-down ability everywhere. I was so impressed with the speed elements of his game that came with that bigger size. I looked at him in the backfield, and he's got that like hunched over running back style where you go, okay, this dude's about to throw a shoulder into somebody. Like he's about to get a linebacker or a DB hurt. But then he's got that fancy footwork, man. I feel like he's way more nimble on his feet than what you would think looking at him. And so he checks a lot of those boxes for me. He's got the production, he's got the athletic ability, and now it just we just need his name to get a little bit higher. I'm trying to fight for it here. He is one of my guys going into the season.
This one I can get on board with. There's a lot of running backs in this class I can get on board with. But Sean Tucker, he may climb higher. He's 5th on the PFF draft board right now in terms of the running back rankings because it is a loaded class. But truthfully, by year's end, it would not surprise me if he's 2, 3 on that list because the combination of power and speed is, I don't want to say it, I don't want to put him in this category just yet, but it's Jonathan Taylor-esque. I heard a story about Sean Tucker that he would not tell people his 40 time because he didn't think people would believe him because they had timed him at a camp at Syracuse in the low 4.3s at that size. He is built like a rock. This dude, not an ounce of fat on him. One of the best Twitter games. If you don't follow him, Go do it. His tweets after the game are hilarious every single time. Maybe unintentionally hilarious. I'm not sure he's trying to be, but his Twitter game is fantastic, and man, he is tough to bring down. Like that breakaway speed is just something that big, that fast, that powerful, that translates to the NFL. I don't need the guys who look great in space, who are 195 pounds. Give me the power backs with speed. That's a guy that's going to work it out in the NFL.
Dude, if he runs anything close to the 4.3s at that size of the combine, I will yell in the media workroom, so everybody is going to hear it if that's the case. Also, the Twitter game, that was brought to my attention actually after I did the scouting report. A couple of people who listened to the podcast said, hey, you got to check out his Twitter game. And it's hilarious. He will say after every single game, he'll go and he'll tweet, he'll be like, I was pleased with my performance. And then like list off what his stats are. And then he'll say like, I was not pleased. He'll say like, I was pleased with my performance, but not with the result if they like lose the game. So it's just like you said, I don't know if he's trying to be funny, but it's funny to me. And so he's the total package of running back. I'm sticking at running back for my next guy though. Michigan running back. Shoot, I'd rather just call him an offensive weapon, Blake Corum. Dude, he was behind Hassan Haskins last year, so he didn't get as many carries, but an elite PFF grade, 91.9 grade as a rusher last year. Didn't have a ton of stats because he was splitting time, but Mike, I feel like this dude's a total package, especially from an NFL perspective. He may be shorter. He's like 5'8", 5'9", but he's packing a punch at 200 pounds, so you know that he's durable with it. I feel like he's built really well. When he takes contact, he takes it well. He is a human highlight reel when it comes to those short area quickness, making guys miss in really small spaces. He's got that part to his game. And the other part that I really love, he's already great as a receiver. So he brings you that third down ability with what he can do as a pass catcher. You can line him up in the slot if you want to as well. I think that he is much more than just a traditional running back. And I think this year, now that it is his show, Hassan Haskins off to the NFL, I think he is going to show people that he's one of the best offensive players in the country, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's another one I'm going to have to agree with you. And again, this running back class is loaded. For me to go to bat for a Michigan man is saying something here.
Yeah.
To me, he reminds me of, like you said, he listed at 200 pounds, but he's so short. Like I think he's listed at like 5'9", but he's not 5'9". He's somewhere closer to like, looks like about 5'7". Reminds me a lot of like Maurice Jones-Drew, where Maurice Jones-Drew was barely scraping 200 pounds, but you were never going to say Maurice Jones-Drew was undersized because that dude is built head to toe like an NFL running back, like an ideal NFL running back. I couldn't believe watching his tape that he split carries with Hassan Haskins because this guy is the total package, truthfully. And his balance and the ability to stay on his feet with some of the cuts he makes, some of the hits he takes is very impressive. Like you said, the fact that he's going to be the lead dog this year, he could put up some massive numbers behind that Michigan O-line.
All right, so we got 2 agrees from you. I got a good feeling that you're going to agree with this next one because I actually got him on my radar because of an article that you wrote previewing the offensive tackles for the 2023 NFL Draft. Anton Harrison, the offensive lineman, the left tackle for Oklahoma, 6'6", 315 pounds. I mean, he is a big dude. But what I love the most about him, he's got so much experience to him. They've been starting this guy since his true freshman season. Now finally draft eligible as a junior. You mentioned in your article, in your write-up of him, he's already got 1,000 snaps to his name at left tackle. So that's so much experience coming into a first-time draft eligible season for Anton Harrison. And man, I really like the tape. I really do. There is a finesse portion of his game that I think is such a plus. It reminds me of kind of what I thought with Charles Cross going into last season. Now, Charles Cross eventually blossomed into a true all-around offensive tackle, one that was picked in the top 10 of the NFL draft last year. There are areas of Anton Harrison's game, especially in the strength profile, that I think he needs to get better at. But there is, I just have so much weight into offensive tackles that really have a knack for putting the hands where they need to, being able to fight with guys when they get into their pass rush moves and then their counters, being able to rebalance, all that kinds of stuff. I feel like he's so calm as a pass protector, and that mentality means so much to me, even though he's probably not a perfect prospect right now. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I'm going to make it 3 straight agreements. And truthfully, your scouting report there hit every single nail on the head, in my opinion, of how I feel about him. Like when you're looking at the weaknesses and writing up, issues, it revolves around play strength. And it's like, he's a sophomore. Of course he's going to revolve around play strength issues because he's going up against 22, 23-year-olds. Like, he is not as physically developed, but the thing you can't coach is what he is athletically, what a guy 6'6", 315, how he moves, how he's built. I mean, he looks like a tight end out there in the way his weight is proportioned on his body, which you can't fake. You can't fake the fact that he is going to be able to move around a football field with ease at the offensive tackle position, which is a big portion of playing tackle in the NFL. If you can't mirror Von Miller, you're not starting at tackle in the NFL. Anton Harrison has the feet, has the sort of athletic profile to do that. Now it's just the strength aspect needs to get there. So I'm a big fan of his where he could be. Maybe he's not going to be necessarily top 10 pick this upcoming season. Maybe it may not hit just yet, but in time, this guy is going to be an NFL caliber left tackle.
I was watching an interview that he was doing with local media at Oklahoma, and they asked him a question. It was, if you could tell your younger self something, what would it be? Like when you were a freshman coming into Oklahoma, and he kind of laughed and he said, I'd take the weight room more seriously. So he knows that he's got to get stronger. Hopefully that answer immediately from him meant that he has been hitting the weight room. He has been getting stronger. And I think if we do, we'll see a damn good player. All right, let's see if we can round it out with another match here. Let's see if we can get 4 out of the 5. I'm going with JALEN, the safety from Arkansas. I don't know how you couldn't like this guy. I get it. He didn't play a full season last year, got hurt the shoulder. But, brother, this guy's been on the field over the last 2 years. He has been so much fun. He's been an impact safety. He's a guy who can make plays for you in the deep end. He can make plays for you downhill. He loves to come over the middle, make sure those wide receivers know that they're looking over their shoulder, not knowing if he's there, because he will absolutely lay the hammer on you. He is such a tone setter as a playmaker on the back end. I love him, man. We got to get a fully healthy season for JALEN, because I think that he would be already in the NFL making plays if it wasn't for that shoulder injury that we saw last year. This is one of my favorite prospects in the entire draft, not just this exercise. What do you think about him?
I'm going to have to disagree with you here on the last one.
No!
And it's not so much because of the tape. The tape, everything you said about the tape's accurate. Like, he is a talented dude, like you said, a tone setter. He is a guy that you do want on your football team. But if we're talking from a draft perspective and how I'm going to value him as a 5'9" safety who's probably capped out at 200 pounds, I'm going to worry about injuries with the play style that you mentioned, because Leonard Fournette shows up to camp 260. If he meets a 260-pound guy in the hole at his size, like, he is going to continue to get injured because he has no brakes. He is never laying off the gas pedal coming into contact. And at that size, you have to know when to take those chances. And I just worry about him getting injured routinely. I worry about a Bob Sanders-esque career arc from him, which, I mean, if you get a Defensive Player of the Year at any round, it's probably worth it. But I just worry about injuries piling up for a guy who is that small at the safety position.
He reminds me, Bob Sanders, obviously, like, for a ceiling, being a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, that's huge. But his play style more recently reminds me of a guy like Jordan Whitehead, right? A dude who is just always coming downhill, is always a force, is not afraid to throw his body at literally anybody who has the football. We saw him get a pretty penny from the New York Jets, and obviously a lot of impact plays that he made for the Bucs on their Super Bowl run. So that's kind of the style, but I'm such a sucker for those players, man. When you play with your hair on fire the way that JALEN does, I can't ignore you, man. I just can't. But I hear you. I hear you on the injury front. It's something that, look, football's a physical game, and so injuries are a part of it, but we've seen it kind of derail some careers. Hopefully that's not the case with JALEN, because I think that, like you said, on the field, when you flip on the tape, when he is healthy, he's an impact player. Hopefully we get a healthy year from him. So there we go. 2 disagreements, 3 agreements. I'll take that. We're over the 50% mark. We got more agrees than disagrees. Those are my 5, my guys, if you will, players that I'm planting my flag on early for the 2023 NFL draft. We'll have to get Mike to give us his 5. I know he's watched a lot of prospects over the summer. Maybe he can narrow it down to 5. We can get another video segment in here to switch the seats, if you will. I'm Trevor. That's Mike. Thanks so much for watching, guys.